What is good, guys? Hope everyone is well. Don't mind my rather crazy hair. I don't know what is going on with this bit at the side. Anyway, the wind is going to keep blowing that, so we'll have to forget about that. Just thought I would update whilst just brought Lara to an appointment, so I thought this would be a nice way to get my steps in. Instead of doing them at home on the walk pad, hopefully the noise of all this construction that is happening isn't going to cause too many issues with the vocal quality. But I hope everyone's doing well. Thursday today at the time of recording this one, and I've finally managed to find a little bit of consistency back in the gym. 3 days on the bounce. Whew, feels good. And today was even a 5 o'clock in the morning session, which I've been wanting to do for ages, but just life has just got in the way pretty consistently for what feels like an eternity. So yeah, managed to get in there for a 5 o'clock this morning gym session. It was push, and I'm going to post that one up for you as part of this week's vlog. So enjoy the push session. Felt pretty good actually, considering how inconsistent my training has been recently. Well, I was about to say through no fault of my own. Literally no one else to blame, is there? But just from the point of view of just struggling to find that bit of consistency, just with, as I say, lots and lots has been going on with, as I mentioned in last week's vlog, Louis not being too well, to travel back to the UK, my grandma passing, Christmas, New Year. So much was happening, and it just made it extremely difficult to just string anything together. Add to that, we had another little episode with Louis on, I think it was Tuesday night. I was all set to go to the gym 5 o'clock in the morning yesterday, Wednesday, and then half two in the morning, Louis decided would be a good time to start coughing in the night, which turned into him being a little bit sick. He's done it a couple of times recently. Nothing major, just like, it's almost like just like a little bit of spit up. It's not even like proper sick. But obviously as parents you worry. So just wanted to go into his room, make sure he was all right. He had been a little bit sick, so made sure that we just cleaned him up, which meant getting him out of bed. And we then thought, right, just to keep a little eye on him, we'll just bring him into our bed. And we've done that before and he's fallen asleep. No, not happening. So from about, I don't know, about 2:30, yeah, probably 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, he just was not really wanting to lay down at all, just wanting to like play and stuff and roll around in bed till about 5:30 in the morning. And then at 5:30 in the morning, Lara and I were just like, right, you're going back in your own bed. He hadn't been sick since, it was like a one and done. Hadn't been sick, so we thought, right, let's get him back in his own bed, and he pretty much went down straight away. So he's just obviously one of those kids that I know some people are going to say, yeah, you lucky buggers. I think he just likes being in his own bed. That's his little safe space, his bit of time for him to basically just enjoy a bit of his own time, a bit of his own company. So he went back down again for a couple of hours. He did sleep well at the childminders yesterday, so she was quite happy to take him. I know sometimes childminders and stuff can get a little bit funny, especially when kids have been sick, but because it was just a one and done, and he's also the only kid that she looks after on a Wednesday. The other two don't go in on a Wednesday, so she was okay with it, which is all good. And then, yeah, last night was a better night. So managed to get a half decent night's sleep, up at 5 o'clock. Pretty decent push session in the bag. I'm very happy to have got that in there. So yeah, just doing a few steps, like I said, while Lara's in her appointment, and then back to the grind. I might go and grab coffee in a minute. It's a little bit chillier out, not too bad. In the summer, there's some quite nice picnic tables and stuff out here, but yeah, I don't know whether sitting down at those is quite the thing to do at the moment. But yeah, I might go and grab a coffee just to give me something to do, sit in the little cafeteria, get a little bit of work done there as well. And then hopefully we'll be back home relatively quickly and we can get right back to it, because lots and lots of stuff happening at the moment. I've got quite a few little changes and updates that I'm making to the coaching approach, which is just going to be more and more beneficial for the clients, existing and any new ones that want to come on board. Now's the time to do it. Going to be some really cool changes coming, and everyone's going to massively benefit from them. So there we have it. We'll leave this part 1 here. Push session will probably follow this section, seeing as it happened today as well. And then I'll try and give you a little bit more of an update over the coming days. But I hope everyone's good and enjoying their week so far. What is up, guys? Hope everyone is good. Just out for a little bit of a walk again. I have a horrible feeling I'm going to get rained on today. I opened my weather app, but then it's done a little update. So I like to use the Met Office's app, which I think is actually more of a UK-based app, and clearly I'm no longer in the UK. But it always just reverted to where we live, and I preferred it to like Apple's own weather app. So that is the one I've been using, and on that there was no rain, 0% chance of rain. But then I've just reopened it again, and it's because for whatever weird reason it's defaulted to a place that isn't even where we live. So, and actually it's a place that I've never even heard of. So and when I search for the place we live, it won't actually find it. So I don't know what's going on there. Maybe where we live has just disappeared off the face of the earth. But anyway, I'm out for a little walk. Just got to pick up another parcel that Lara's ordered. I think it's more shoes for Louis. Kids growing out of everything really quickly at the moment, which I'm sure parents can very much relate to. Kids don't stay in stuff very long at all. Well, yeah, it's not too far to walk. It's just at one of these pickup lockers, but it's based at like a car wash garage. Ordinarily we drive there, but it's given me the opportunity to get out, have a little bit of a walk. So that is what I'm doing. 4 sessions in a row this week. Absolutely cooking on gas at the moment. This morning's 5 a.m. session was the 4th. pull session, pretty decent. I've still got just nearly got run over. Still got a slight ongoing little niggle in my right sort of bicep area, which is not the most ideal situation for pull. The back work is okay because I can take my bicep out of most of that. The direct bicep work, a lot harder. And a lot of that actually is certain movements I can do okay, certain movements just don't feel quite right. I did go and see the physio, osteo, just before Christmas, and he did a bit of stuff. He like snapped my arm around. What he thought it was, and I'm probably going to have to go back again, what he thought it was almost where, if you ever got to that point, if you basically know that a joint needs to crack, and you can extend that joint to a certain point, and then it almost feels painful right before it pops. I think he thought it was like stuck in that position. So a lot of the stuff that he was doing with it was just trying to get that pop to happen. But that just didn't really seem to work. It felt almost a little bit better initially. And so at the time I was like, yeah, it does feel a bit better. But within a couple of days, especially getting back to the gym, even though I did rest it for a good period of time, when I did finally get back to the gym, it still wasn't quite right. And I've had various, over, I think I mentioned, I've not trained that much in the past month. And part of that has been just the sheer busyness of life. But part of it's also been me trying to be a little bit more conscious of just giving that bicep, that area, every chance to rest. And it just hasn't quite done what I wanted and expected it to do. So I suspect I'm going to be going back there at some point. I don't know exactly when that will be because I've got to find the time. But yeah, it probably is something that needs doing. So we shall see. But anyway, 4 sessions this week. Looking forward to legs on Sunday. Always enjoy a good leg session, which is good. So yeah, I'm just having this little walk, and then we've got a quieter day tomorrow. So I've got my next call with Andy, my life coach, which I'm looking forward to. Always come out of those feeling good. So it's going to be a nice early Saturday morning call, set the weekend up right, and then we'll see what happens. What is up, people? It is Monday morning, and it's been a good morning. Up at 5 o'clock to get my my delts and arm session done, and it felt like a good one. Again, another situation where I didn't necessarily want to be getting myself out of bed at 5 o'clock in the morning, but these things aren't going to do themselves. So very, very pleased to have got up, got it done, and actually had a pretty decent session in the end as well. Just approaching lunchtime here, and lots and lots of busy stuff. So first week of the Benefit Blitzers checking in. Some amazing stuff happening already. Everyone is down a bare minimum of a kilo this week, which is just over 2 pounds. Some have been down 2 kilos, 3 kilos. Absolutely phenomenal work in their first weeks. Still got all of my full-timers checking in as well. They're all doing a super job. I think with this resettling in period post the sort of Christmas New Year break, feeling good, finding that rhythm again, finding that structure, and making fantastic progress as a result. Some really cool goals that are getting worked upon at the moment as well. People who starting to get to the point of being the lightest weight they've been for many years. A lot of them the lightest weight they've been for as long as they can remember, and that's pretty cool. That's pretty special. So really excited to see what's going to come. From my own personal point of view, pictures etc. will obviously follow tomorrow once I've checked in with Christian and once I've had that reply back. But my body weight is up just under a pound. Which is absolutely fine. Like, I've actually had a solid, consistent week of training, which feels like it hasn't happened for a long time. I've managed to get all 5 of my sessions in this week. Had some pretty good sessions in there as well. Some of them were a little bit more feet finding, just getting back into that swing again, feeling the movements out. But a couple of them, you know, pushed things nice and hard, made sure I was still training intensely. And yeah, just good to be back in the gym and feeling everything out again. So yeah, pound up, just under a pound up on average. That was slightly skewed by a bit of an anomaly that the number jumped up on the scales Saturday, whatever the day with the 17th was. Saturday morning, the number spiked a little bit for no real reason. Nothing particular changed. So obviously that number's slightly skewed, but that's also why we look at the averages. You know, naturally across your week, you're going to get some ups, you're going to get some downs. If we take an average across those, we sort of level out some of that. So yeah, just under a pound up on average, absolutely where I would expect to be. Having found that, that rhythm again, getting back into the gym, giving my muscles that fullness back. And yeah, very much looking forward to what's to come. So a little bit of a short one, this one, just as a bit of an interim between actual check-in being sent tomorrow and Christian's reply. Tomorrow, I've also joining a panel, a bit of a discussion with a couple of other working dads as part of a project called Parenting Out Loud, which I'm very, very excited by. So, you know, an opportunity just to share my experiences of being a working dad, something that I think is maybe not spoken about enough. I think we're getting better as a whole about these things, but I think there's probably still a little bit of, I don't know, traditionalism in, you know, man goes to work, woman stays at home with kids. The world is starting to change, but yeah, opportunity for me to share a bit more on that. So once that's happened, and you know, should that sort of go out to the further wider audience, then obviously I'll let everyone know, and there'll be some links to that as well. But yeah, it's some positive stuff, some positive news to start the week, which almost didn't happen because the car had a lovely little engine warning light come on yesterday, but apparently it's gone off this morning. It came on when I went to the gym at 5 o'clock this morning, but then Lara dropped Louis off and she said the light had gone off again. So maybe just one of those funny little weird sensor things. I mean, at some point we'll get someone to just plug it into the computer and read the error, just because it will store the error and it'll probably tell us it's some weird sensor fault. So next time we do get it serviced, we'll maybe have to do something. But for the time being, fingers crossed, the car isn't broke. But I'll be back again tomorrow. Good morning, people. Hope everyone is well. It is, what day are we today? Tuesday morning. I'm just making a coffee because it is one of those mornings. Lara was up nice and early to go to Paris, which meant that I was also up nice and early. To be fair, I'm up early a lot of the time at the moment because the gym sessions at 5 o'clock in the morning clearly have me up early. And then the days that she goes to Paris, I usually get up with her about 5:30. So we have breakfast together, try and get things sorted, and then get Louis all sorted just before I have to drive her down to the station. So yeah, usually everyone's up pretty early on the days that happens, and today is one of those. So check-in sent over to Christian. A fairly sort of steady and stable one. As I mentioned yesterday, up about a pound on average this week, which is nice. You know, I'd had a fair few weeks of things not really pushing up at all, you know, for different reasons, just with Christmas, with New Year, with, you know, not getting into the gym too much. So a week where things have been much more steady and stable. I'll pop the pictures up so you can obviously have a little look at those with the comparisons, and we've got, what we know, about 28, 29 weeks into this phase of growth and still holding things fairly tight. You know, yes, naturally there's some body fat gone on, of course, but you know, that's all part of the process. It's going to happen. But I also feel bigger, stronger. You know, I definitely feel like there's been some muscle added already, which is nice. And you know, there's more of that to come. So all in all, a pretty decent week. So we have the rest of the week to go. I'll be back in the gym at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. Today is a rest day for me as well, just with everything going on. There's lots of stuff to get done today. So more check-ins to get through, lots of social media stuff to get recorded, including this video. the life of the online coach. I think everyone believes it's literally just nothing but check-ins, and it would be amazing if that was the case, but there's a lot more to it. So social media content, writing emails, writing training plans, speaking, reaching out to people, replying to messages, it's the admin side of it, dealing with taxes and all of those accounting sides. But it's I think there's a lot more that goes into it than I think people think. So but yeah, all good stuff, all stuff that's just part of being an entrepreneur, if that's what you want to call it, part of being self-employed, having your own business. Everyone gets into it, I think, thinking they're just going to do the thing, but there's all of the other stuff that you have to do around that you don't necessarily think about at the time. So yeah, all in all, decent week. I will leave this one here. I've got a nice chat this afternoon. Again, as I mentioned yesterday, part of something called Parenting Out Loud, which is an opportunity to just share thoughts and feelings around being a working dad and, how things are and like my experiences with all the good stuff that comes with that. So I like I say, I'll share that with everyone once, if as and when it gets released into the wider audience. If you go onto my socials, you should hopefully be able to see that when it happens, at Ben Howard Fitness on all of my socials, all one word. And otherwise, have a fantastic rest of your week, and I'll be back again next week with another one.